Hi everybody. Today I'm going to cover the top 10 questions that viewers have been asking the most. Who, what, when, where, why, how, and we will go over all of that, so stay tuned. I answered some of these on my previous Friday Night Live. That was on Christmas Day, actually. But I'm going to go into more detail and I'm going to cover more questions because like I said, it's the top 10 questions. So let's get started. Okay, the top 10 questions. Number 10 is, how was my Christmas? Well, Bandit and I had a good Christmas because we are safe and sound. Because Freebird is broken down, we walked to a hotel. Not just for a treat that my wonderful fiance, Robert Witham, paid for, and thank you, my love, but because I don't have signal at all at the RV park where I am. They have supposedly Wi-Fi there, but it doesn't work. And I can't even really get phone calls there. Every now and then the phone will ring and I have to stay in a certain place of the RV. Even if I walk outside, I have to go like half a mile up a hill, and even then it's only got like one bar. And so Bandit and I, we trekked 2.3 miles, and I had on ridiculous gear because we're going to be here for a couple of days. And so I was carrying my laptop, my purse, a backpack, and another bag because I needed 2 days worth of food and everything, right? And we were here by ourselves, and that's another top 10 question that I'll answer in a moment. But so number 9, I'm going to try to do this in sign language. Let's see. Yeah, number 9 is, where am I? Well, I just said we are at a hotel. We are in Parker, and we had a great Christmas. And I know that so many this year were alone on Christmas Day. And just because when I say that I'm alone doesn't mean that I mean that in a negative way. So many of us had to connect by Zoom. I was blessed to be able to connect with my wonderful Coco fam and my viewers and my family and friends on my Friday Night Live that happened to fall on Friday, December 25th. And you all made it a wonderful Christmas. That morning, I got to open a card and a gift from my cousins, Cindy and Mike. And like I said, Robert is the one that paid for this hotel for us to have the treat and the Wi-Fi so that I could connect with you guys. So that was it. Questions number 10 and number 9, how was my Christmas and where are we? Question number 8 that is most often asked is, where is Robert? And if you've been watching the Friday Night Lives, you know that Robert has gone to New York. He traveled 3,000 miles. He went the southern route and up the coast so that he could avoid bad weather, and he still got caught in that northeastern, but he is safe and sound, and he is with family. He's actually taking care of his grandfather, Cal, Dusty Cal Witham. You can go see that video on To Meander and meet Grandpa Cal Witham. Robert calls him Bumpa because when he was young, that's just what he called him, and that kind of stuck. But the rest of the family knows Cal as Papa, and Papa is not doing well, and I'm so glad that Robert was able to make it and to be with him, and the family is taking turns spending the night there. But Robert is staying in the driveway and also takes his turns at night and is able to help the family out and be with his precious Bumpa. And I am blessed that I got to meet and spend time with Cal. He's just one of the most beautiful souls on the face of the earth that I have ever met. Question number 6, when will Robert be back? Well, you know, in matters like this, no one knows that timeline but God. And Robert is there for the duration. And he has to then go all the way from that corner, and I'm back down in the other corner of the United States. And so he'll probably, hopefully, and he plans to cut across and see his kids in Wyoming as he comes down. And so we really don't have an answer for you on when Robert will be back. But every Friday night live, if you're interested, he usually does a Where's Robert segment, and he gives you just a 2 or 3 minute glimpse of the things that he has done during the week. And people really enjoy that segment. So I hope you'll tune in for that. And please send your well wishes and warmth and love to Robert and his family. Question number 6. Now this one cracks me up. We just did 2 videos on my channel, which my channel is a vlog, a day in the life. And I get that this is a little bit different, but I wanted to answer all of these questions. And especially for those of you that don't enjoy my live chats or don't do live chats and aren't able to join us on Friday nights. One of the big questions that we got asked for my last 2 videos from a day in the life when we were camping on LTVA before Robert left was, why on earth was he wearing or carrying while we were videotaping the segment? Well, honestly, when I first started filming, I didn't realize that his sidearm was showing. And I explained in that video, the very first one, why he was carrying. And it's amazing to me that people watch the video, and I took time out and I said, by the way, if you're wondering why, and I explained it, and people still asked, why is he carrying? So I will put that link, and that will actually take you just to that part of that video so that you can get that explanation. But the bottom line is that he had just come back from a 2.5 hour, a little over 5 mile hike up into the mountains and back down, and he went by himself. And no, he's not going to shoot anything, but when you're out by yourself, if you get hurt or something, you might need some self-protection. Now, we have never run into that on our time out here on the road, but I think we all agree 2020 is pretty crazy. You don't know what you're going to run into anymore, and it's better safe than sorry. And there have recently been 2 reported deaths, even on LTVA land. One was in La Posa North, and another one was, I can't remember. I don't want to say because I can't remember exactly where it was, but where another body was found in a ravine. And that one had actually been there long enough that wolves or coyotes or animals had ravaged that body, sadly. And so I apologize if that offended anybody, but we're not apologizing for him packing because it's legal. And there are ramifications you need to be aware of. People asked, well, can you carry state to state and all of that? Open carry, concealed carry laws are different state to state. If it is a problem, to be honest, anymore, because Robert has that firearm now, we avoid those states. And we always abide by the rules, laws, and regulations. I stress that all the time on my channel. So I hope that clears that up. No, he doesn't just walk around with a sidearm on his hip. He had gotten back from that 5 mile hike and was hungry and started cooking, and I wanted to catch that he was doing that because he was cooking a fabulous lunch of chicken and asparagus. And so anyway, I hope that answers question number 6. Question number 5. A lot of people are asking, what is going to happen to Freebird? And that is my RV that I just bought this summer. And that is a really, really, really good question. And we decided what we are doing with Freebird, and we are retiring her. And I will be sharing in a future video what that means, how we're doing it, what all it entails, what we're going to do from there. But I just want to, everybody has suggestions and everything on Freebird, but Robert and I have decided, and I have shared with patrons what we are doing once and for all. She is going to be retired, which I guess leads to the top question number 4, can she be fixed? And y'all stay tuned. I think the number 1 question that everybody asks is going to surprise you. I wouldn't be retiring her if she could be fixed. I mean, could she? Yes, with enough money. And I know that I had a lot of people say, just change out the axle. Well, for one, you know, I've shared, I'm not going to go around to all of the, I started to say graveyards, dump yards. What are they called? Like junkyards. And all of the used places where they have all the vehicles and everything like that. You know, there's not any in this exact area, for one thing, and then to find that exact fit, and then what am I going to do? Put that over my shoulder and throw it in the RV or whatever I happen to rent to go get it, and then go back and put it on, and you know, I can't do that. Robert can't do that. We've got 2 friends that know how to do that, but they don't have the tools and the strength and everything to be able to do that anymore. 5 mechanics that I've talked to have said, we're not doing it, we're not touching it. They're professional mechanics, they have shops, they're ACE certified, and 2 different differential shops were supposed to have fixed this, and I just don't trust being able to drive Freebird anymore. And again, stay tuned for question number 1, the top question that's going to be coming up. But can she be fixed? You know, maybe if I wanted to spend, you know, I was told one guy would do it for $1,500. You guys, it was a little bit of a scam, I gotta tell you. He wouldn't give his last name. He didn't have a shop, and he would have a buddy that would pull it over here to another buddy's parking lot, and he could drop that axle, put a new axle in, and I'd be good to go. Well, you know, twice now I've had somebody work on Freebird, and they got 3/4 the way through with the job and went, oh, it's more than I thought I could do. The windshield, the guy walked away, left me without a windshield, and I was blessed to be able to find someone to get it put in, and you can see that video here. And another time I had a mechanic that thought he could, and I thought he was the best mechanic in the world, and he was going to help me get Freebird all fixed up and everything, and she broke down and had to be towed, and he's like, oh, sorry, I can't fix her after all. And third time, the people that just really kind of stole my money and never got anything fixed, the rooftop AC never worked right. So I'm really skittish of just trusting anybody that says, oh, I can do that for you, and it won't take me but a few hours. Don't worry about it. You'll be good as gold. And then I'm supposed to trust my life to that, be driving down the road, and the rear end locks up, and I go flipping, and that's the end of the RV. That's I most likely would be injured or die, and let alone bandit, and then anybody that is around when the rig crashes. I'm not willing to take that chance, and I'm not willing to put another even $1,500 into her or whatever it would take. People are like, oh, it'll be a couple of $100. Yeah, well, you figure out how to do that for a couple of $100. Like I said, I've talked to about a dozen people, and they're not just backyard mechanics or people that don't know what they're doing. 2 of them were professional differential rear end shops. And they're like, yeah, no, we're not touching that because we can't warranty it and we can't get parts and blah, blah, blah. So I hope that answers the question. She can't be fixed and she's being retired. Okay, the top 3rd question. Was LTV worth it, and why did we do it this year? Well, I gotta tell you, when Robert left, we had no way of knowing. The very first time that I would drive Freebird off of the LTVA where we were staying to go to town to run errands would be her last drive. I mean, clearly we would not have gone way out where we were on LTVA land had we known that. I don't know how anybody knows that. Those are the kind of things that you have to be prepared for out here. You have to kind of expect, and you have to kind of have a backup plan. But was the LTVA worth it? You know, for the few weeks that we were there before she broke down, no, because we paid $180. But had I been able to spend the winter there, let alone had my sweetheart and I been able to spend the winter there like we had planned on doing, it was going to be so totally worth it. And we were really looking forward to it, and we had plans, and we were going to do some remodeling on the interior of Freebird, and all of that changed. But LTVA is long-term visitor area. I believe I will put information and a bunch of links in the video description, but it covers thousands and thousands and thousands of acres in 8 different locations, and you can use the same sticker for all the locations and travel about. Not all of them even have trash, but most of them do. Very few have water, none of them have hookups, and only a few of them allow tent camping. And again, I will put that information and all of those links in the video description and pinned comment, so check that out. But was it worth it to us? Absolutely. And why did we do it this year? It's because we wanted a place to land. We wanted a place to come back to, and we were going to go out and go camping different places and then come back to the LTVA, to our site, and just explore the entire Southwest. But we wanted a place to come back to where we could dump our trash, where we could get water if we wanted to, and that was close to town. And so it was going to work beautifully for us, but not anymore. And we're now up to the second most asked question. And it has to do with haters and trolls. People are either tell me ignore them, don't give them any time at all. People want to know why I block so many of them. Other people want to know, you know, I don't see any haters and trolls on your channel that much. Well, one, it's because I usually block them. And two, so why do I block them? Well, you know, I block them, one, because I can. Two, because it's my channel. And three, there's enough hate and stupid stuff going on in the world. I don't want it on my channel. And four, I've had enough of that in my lifetime to last a dozen lifetimes. If you want to give somebody a hard time, if you want to, like, you know, run your mouth from your keyboard and be stupid, you're not going to get a voice on my channel. And so everybody, that just seems to be like the number 2 thing when I counted questions that are repeatedly come up from people. Those are the things that come up. Or I have people that say, well, that didn't sound so bad to me. Oh, that's good. Let them talk on your channel. But you know what I have found? Every time that I go and I check these people out, they don't have any content on their channel. All they're doing is running around over the internet and running their mouths off. And so sometimes I answer them, sometimes I give them a second chance, sometimes I give them a third chance. But I am quick to hit that block and delete button, and I always will be. It's my channel. I handle it the way I see fit, and I will always handle haters and trolls that way. And don't tell me not to give them time and energy. I'm not. Just because I choose to address it how I want to address it on an individual basis, and whether I want to answer them or delete them or block them is up to me. And I handle every one of them differently. If you want to help me out at all, smack them back. If you know that they're saying something that's not true, tell them. You have a voice too. I'm not trying to encourage fighting. I'm not trying to encourage debate. But I also don't want something sitting out there and I might be busy and that somebody has said that is completely false or way off base. So it's an open forum. It's a big wide world. And yes, everybody talks about freedom of speech. Well, guess what? You go into a theater and you yell, "Fire!" You get arrested for that. You incite rioting. You threaten to kill someone. You know, that whole freedom of speech thing is, it's just, you don't get to just do anything, anywhere, anytime you want. And public places are usually privately owned, like restaurants maybe. they get to kick you out if they want to, and so do I, and all I can tell you is get over it. Okay, so the number one question that just gets asked the most often is, drum roll please, why don't I just park Freebird and use her like a tiny home? Everyone has given me suggestions on maybe even buying land, and I appreciate that. You can go check a video out right here where I talked about why I'm not buying inexpensive land. I've already covered that. And the second thing is, even if I found land, I would have to pay to have her towed there. You guys, to have her towed 2 miles cost me $200. I'm not having her towed anywhere. I don't care how cheap the land was and if that is what I wanted to do. So no, I don't want to buy land. I'm not ready for that. Robert and I aren't ready for that. We do want a home base together at some point, and my home base that I originally had is not going to work for us as a couple. And speaking of which, Freebird doesn't really work for us as a couple. Tiki built her out for Tiki and her dog Rocco. She doesn't really work for 2 people. There is a twin bed in the back. That was great for Tiki. It was great for me. And then we tried to do a full bed over the cabin, and that works great for me, to be honest. I can get up and down there no problem. But Robert also has a brain injury from being hit by a horse not hit by a horse. When he was riding his horse with his father, they were on horseback in a parade, and a truck hit them. Robert's horse died. Robert has had many surgeries. He has back issues. If y'all ever see him on a video, you can see the big scar on his arm. Getting up and down off of that ladder for Robert has been a problem. And the mattress is only 5 inches thick because the cabin is short up there, and both of our backs are killing us. And I've never had back problems in my life. So the bed issue is a problem as a couple. The chairs for a big guy aren't really comfortable, and there's no place for us to have 2 offices. And so it's not a problem with Robert going to his van, which is my former van, Fancy Free, to claim as his office. But what happens when Fancy Free no longer keeps trucking along? She's got over 200,000 miles on her. So there's a lot of reasons. Oh, and not to mention, the Freebird still has issues. I told you, the rooftop AC doesn't work. The guy, he put in used parts and basically he's a crook and he stole my money, and I'm just really still angry about that. The gray tank has sprung a leak. Let's see, the hot water heater is having issues, and so far regular maintenance on her, like flushing her out and changing the valves and all that, hasn't worked. She has a leak in the shower. There seems to be a leak where the freshwater tank gets filled up, and that is in the panel between the faucet and the wall. And so it just seems to be endless. And so no, we don't want to keep Freebird as a tiny home, even somewhere to put her stationary. Might we want a home base one day that we can operate out of? Yes. And I will share with you later what we have decided to do with Freebird as we retire her, where we're going from there. Hey, puppy, you got an itch? So that was it, the top 10 questions. And now you guys be sure and stay tuned for Wednesday, January 31st, New Year's Eve. I'm going to do a premiere where I'm going to show a 2020 in review, and I'm going to talk about what's coming up in 2021. A premiere means that I will be online with you watching it, and we will be chatting in the comments together, and it will be so much fun to go over that. 2020 has been such a crazy year, and we're going to go back and we're just going to do snippets and a whole montage of the year and relive that together, and I'll be answering any questions you want in the meantime while we watch that premiere together. Thursday, January 31st, 5 o'clock Pacific time, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Now, Friday night on my Friday Night Live, that's actually January 1, 2021. We finally make it out of 2020. And guys, I'm going to cut my 2020 COVID braid off live on that Friday Night Live. So please stay tuned for those two things, and I'll see you then. And thank you for being on this channel with me today. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and be sure to hit that bell and ring all so that you get notified of all of my videos, and share my channel. I'd appreciate that, and we'll see you down the road. Bye. Keep on keeping on.